This is the primary school getting started guide for Daybook, and in this video I'm going to talk through how to get set up and get going with Daybook. So the first thing you'll notice when you log in for the first time, you'll see this screen. This is actually the diary view, which is where you can enter in all of your notes per day. You'll notice at the top here you can navigate between days by tapping on the left and right arrows up here, and this will go between days. You can also tap on the date itself, and this will bring up a calendar view where you can select a specific date, or you can just tap on today, which will bring you straight to today's date. Now, the first time that you log in, you'll see this message here which says that you have no timetable available. And this is because we haven't set one up yet. So the first thing we're going to need to do is click on this Create a Timetable button, and this will enter the setup for your timetable. So the first thing you'll need to do is give your timetable a name. If I type in Term 1, you'll notice that this is giving me a suggestion of Term 1 2021. If I tap this, it'll automatically fill in the dates based on the public schools in your state. Obviously, if you're at a private school or your dates are different for some reason, you'll need to change those. So you can just tap on the calendar icon here to bring up a calendar, and you can change that to whatever date you need for your school. Next thing we'll do is we'll press next, and this view here is where we set up the structure of your day. So you might have a morning session, and then a break, and then a midday session, and then a break, and then an afternoon session. You can edit this however you like. So, for example, I can double tap one of these to change it. I could change this, instead of saying morning, I could say morning session if I want to, or I could just leave it as it is. You can tap once to select, and once it's selected, you can either tap again to edit, or you can hold and drag that item around. So for example, you might have your recess there and your lunch. Your first break is actually the lunch break, so you could tap once to select and then tap a second time to drag that around so that you can lay out the day how you want to have it laid out. And again, if you want to edit one of these, you can tap once and then tap again to edit. You'll notice here that there is a type option, either lesson or break. So obviously if it's lunch or recess, you're going to want that to be a break and not a lesson. And if you need more of these kind of sections, you can come down the bottom here and click on the plus button, and this will give you the option to add a lesson or a break to your day as well. And then of course, once you've added it, you can tap once to select and then drag to move it up or down as needed. Once you're happy with how your day is kind of laid out, you can press the next button. And this is where we fill in the actual timetable itself. Now a good way to think of it is this will be your template for your diary. So each day this is what will automatically get filled in, and then you'll have the ability to add more details on each day. So for example, in the morning here, I can press the plus button to add something to Monday in the morning session. And let's say I've got, every day I'm going to mark the roll, so I'm just going to add this in here as mark roll. And, this one will go for, say, 15 minutes, and I can click create. And you can see here I've got mark roll 15 minutes. Once I've set one of these up, I can go ahead to the next day and press the add button again, and you'll notice that it automatically selected mark roll for me. And this makes it really quickly to fill in each day with stuff that you've already added. Or of course you can add a new one. So I've got mark roll here. I could add, for example, maybe we'll make this one blue, and I can say spelling or reading maybe. You can tap on the color wheel here to change the color. And reading might go for 30 minutes, say, and I can click create. Now notice I probably actually want marking roll to be first on a Tuesday, so I can go ahead and press the add button, and it's got mark roll here. I'm going to change this back to 15 minutes and click create. And now that I've added that in, I want to move it to be above reading. So to do that, just like the previous view, you tap once to select, and then you can tap a second time and drag that up the top so you can reorder like that. If you need to change one of these, again, you can tap once to select and tap a second time to edit that. And so obviously I can change this from reading to mark roll or add a new one, or I can change the duration as well. Let's say this actually goes for 45 minutes. I can change that as well and press done. So I'm going to go ahead and add mark roll to the rest of my days just by tapping on the add button, selecting mark roll at the top here, and the duration 15 minutes. It's going to remember that each time to make it a bit easier. And I can continue to do this for the rest of the diary as well. So I can come down into midday and afternoon and do the exact same thing. Let's say you have a 2-week rotation, and this is week A, and you want to add a week B. You can come at the top here where it says week A, select that, and click on add a week. And this will add a week B for me and automatically switch to it. So I can add in, again, I can add in my mark roll at the start of each day. And if I need to get back to week A, I can tap on this drop down again to get back to week A. One more thing that I'll show you is in the top left hand corner here is the settings cog. If you tap on that, this is where you can edit the settings for this timetable. So you could change the name in here or the start or the end date. But the one that I want to show you here is this one on the bottom that says start on. Let's say your timetable has a week A and a week B, but it actually starts on week B. Sometimes that can happen. So you can tap on this drop down and select week B and then press done, and this will make sure that your timetable starts on week B. Notice that the first day for this term is actually a Thursday, the 28th of January. So on the 28th of January, we should expect to see week B Thursday because that's what we chose to start on. And so I can show this by adding, let's say, a mathematics subject in the morning that goes for an hour, just to make it obvious. Once you've done setting up your timetable, you can press save. And what this is saying is I've set up my timetable, but I'm actually in December, and so there's nothing to display on this day, on the 23rd of December, but there is something to display in January when the timetable starts. So this is just asking me if I would like to go to the 28th of January now. I'm going to tap yes, and this is going to send me straight to the 28th of January when my timetable starts. And you can see that it is filled in the correct week. This is week B, where I added that mathematics subject in the morning. And we can see that. By the way, this button up here in the top right hand corner is the timetable button. If you tap that, it'll show your timetable. So we can see if we select week B again, that it's showing the correct day. One other thing, when you're in this timetable view, you can't change anything here directly. If you want to edit your timetable, you'll have to tap on the edit button, and this will bring back those same editing options that we had in the previous view where we were setting the timetable up. So I can do all the same things. I can tap once to select and then drag it around, or I can tap a second time to open the edit view, or I can press the plus button to add a new one. And of course I can also click on the settings cog and change from week A to week B. Once I'm done, I can press save, or I can discard my changes. So I'm just going to discard for now. We don't want to make any changes right now. I'm going to press yes, I would like to discard my changes. And then I can just tap anywhere outside of this box to get out of the timetable view back into the diary. So that's the basics of getting started and getting set up. What I'll run through now is just a quick overview of all of the features and how to use them, roughly. So you'll notice that in the diary view, it's going to lay out your diary like this. Obviously, if I had more things here in my timetable, they would appear here as well. To add notes to one of these, I can tap on just where it says mathematics. I can just tap in here, and this will bring up a text box where I can enter some text. So I might say times tables, for example. And I can, from within here, I can select text and make it bold, or I can highlight it. So you've got some basic formatting options here as well. Also, you'll notice that there is some bullet points and numbering. So I can add a bullet point here, say point 1, and then I can press enter to create the next one. And I can use these indentation icons here to make those bullet points indent and go back as well. So this is the diary view. It lists all of those things from your timetable and allows you to add notes. If you need to add another one for a particular day, you can click on this add button here, and this will bring up the same view that you had when you're setting up your timetable. I can select reading, for example, for 30 minutes, click create, and this is added that second option here. I can tap on reading and add notes to this as well, say chapter 4. And so each day doesn't have to be exactly the same as your timetable, is the point that I'm making here. You can add and modify your days. If you want to change the ordering, you can go down the bottom here and click rearrange. And this will bring up these icons here, which you can then tap and drag to rearrange your lessons for that particular day. Let's say you decide that actually we're not going to do maths in the morning today, we're going to do it in the afternoon or midday. You can do that as well. Once you've finished reordering, come down and turn the rearrange off. And the other thing I'll note here is that you can tap on these 3 dots on the right hand side to show the menu. From here you can actually delete one of these as well. So I could delete mathematics altogether for this particular day. And I'm not going to do that because I want to show you something else in a minute. But just to show you that each day is flexible, you can move things around and rearrange it how you like. It doesn't have to always stay exactly the same as the timetable that you entered originally. One other thing that I will show you right now, everything that I've shown you to this point is the diary view. But we also have this thing over here called lessons. And if I tap on that, you'll notice I've got this option here in the top left to select a course. And this is basically picking those different subjects or items that you added to your timetable. So for example, mathematics, I can tap on that. And this is going to show me every day where I've got that mathematics. So obviously the 28th of January is the first one, and it's going to be every Thursday on a week B. So I can go in here and I can sort of plan ahead for a particular subject or topic. You can also move your notes around between different dates using these buttons here on the right hand side. So pressing the down arrow will move this text down to the next date, and obviously tapping the up arrow will move it up to the previous date. Now, one thing to note here as well is that let's say I already had something here on the 11th of February, and so I've got 2 lessons. When I move this 28th of January one down further, it's not going to be able to add it to the 11th of February because there's something already here. So what it'll actually do is shift all of those lessons to the next one. So you'll see when I press the down arrow here, it's going to move both the 28th of January and the 11th of February down one. And I'll just show you that now. So you can see that the 28th moved to the 11th and the 11th moved to the 25th. So this can be handy if you're moving things up and down, or if you have a week where, for whatever reason, you miss a lesson and you just want to bump everything. and that kind of thing. So it can be very helpful. The other thing you might find is that once you've got lots of these, let's say you do maths every day, you're going to have a lot of dates in here. You might want to only see the dates where you've actually entered some text in. So what you can do is you can uncheck this tick box up in the right-hand corner that says Show Empty Lessons. And what that will do is hide all the ones where you haven't actually entered anything in yet. And this can be helpful just to remove that clutter, make things a bit easier to see. I'm going to tick that again. This is going to show everything again. One more thing, if you want to be able to jump straight to this particular date, to this particular item that I've added here, yes, you could go to the diary view and navigate there manually, but there's a quicker way, and that is to click on the three dots on the right hand side here, and then click on the View in Diary button, and this will take you directly to the 11th of February. Also notice the feedback option. So please make sure you give feedback if there's something missing that you like, or if there is something you don't like about the way that the diary is working. Please click on the feedback button, and you can enter some feedback in here and tell us what you like or don't like about the diary, and this is going to be really helpful moving forward. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you enjoy the new diary, and please don't forget to leave feedback if you have any thoughts or ideas or need help with anything. Thank you very much. See you later.